How's it going, guys and gals? My name is Beckett and welcome back to another Beckett Reacts video. Today we are once again going back to the lovely world of Jubilee with their series of Middle Ground. And today we're touching upon a subject that I've thought about from time to time. And I've only thought about it because it's the thing that I'm getting to that sort of not the age where I'm starting to think about being one, but starting to get to the age where I'm thinking about relationships and being in love with someone, and then having the discussion with them about the possibility of having kids later on in the future. That if you get what I mean there. And my sort of view on this is, first off, if I were to have a kid, if I was in a position, like if I was at the right age, or if I was in a good position to have, when it comes to children and stuff, I'm still quite young. I know myself that I've got a lot of stuff I need to work on. Like, I am quite a lazy person. If I'm honest, there's stuff that I should do in life that I don't, because I don't want the hassle, and I just come off to deal with it, and it is just pure laziness. I know that for a fact, and it's something I am trying to work on, but it's proving to be harder than I thought. Because of that reason, and also, like, when it comes to when I'm around other kids, I'm generally just like, how doth one interact with this child? And I don't know how to what to do or how to behave around them. Like, how are you supposed to interact with the kids? So I've always been on the mindset of, I'm not obviously ruling out that I'll never have kids, never in my life. I'm not ruling out. I'm just saying that for the foreseeable future, I can't see me having them at all. I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. I've got a little less knowledge base on this than what most sons would have. As I mentioned before on this channel, what, 2 years ago? No, well, 2-ish years, maybe 2 and a bit years ago. Obviously, I've mentioned my dad passed away due to illnesses I shall not disclose as of yet. So he passed away, like, 2 and a bit years ago, give or take. And so I've only got him being a father through most of my childhood, through my secondary school, and then a little bit of college. And I'd say there was actually something that he personally wanted to know himself, because when he was going in like his last few weeks or something, me and my brother were over their house and having a chat with him, and he wanted to know if he'd done a good job as a father. For me, he was good. Like, he was really good. There are so many times that, I think he may have done once or twice, but he barely ever got like angry. I think he mostly ever got with me was, I think, like probably really annoyed or agitated, but never really angry. I never really remember him shouting at me much. But he always tried to help me, and he always tried to support me in any way, whatever way he could. Put it this way, unfortunately my dad and my mum broke up and parted ways, because of reasons I shan't go into, and my stepdad came along. He could have, the only thing he said it, and he said it as well, like, he could have just as easily, when she let him go, she could have easily packed up his bag and gone back to Germany, because being here was because being in England, because being with her was, I think at the time, was one of the main reasons. Was one of the main reasons being with her was one of the main reasons that he was here in the UK, living here. But instead of that, he, instead of leaving, he actually stayed in the same village. Like, so in the time that he's been my father, he's always been in the same village as me, within a walking distance. There was a flat off like about in the other corner, opposite corner of our village that he I think bought or rented from my godparents because they owned it. It wasn't much, but it was something enough so that he could still stay here and be there for the two of us, for me and my brother. That's one example of which he was really good. And again, like, through most of my, because I won't lie, I didn't make it easy, not on purpose. Not that I don't want to make it. It was mainly through like school, secondary school and stuff. It was all the homework stuff and all the stuff I did that like, that's all the math help. It's just, oh my god, I hated doing it. And it was a joint effort in the later years between him and my stepmom, but even still, he did what he could with her to help me get through it. Like, even when there are things that because of like my this anxiety that I do have at times, I've not done certain things. I just didn't couldn't be able the courage to do it. I didn't do certain things that I didn't ask me to do. And I lied to try and get my way out of them. Out of saying, oh yeah, I done this or done that. But because my stepmom mainly knew that she was a good liar teller, and she knew that she didn't know I was just trying to, she knew I just, was struggling. She understood a lot of reasons why I did stuff. And because of that, like, I'm basically doing a very long-winded way, detailed long-winded way of saying he supported me no matter what. And that's one of the things I'll always miss about him, is that even when I thought I was being an absolute idiot, he didn't like stop or anything. He just kept going. And like, even, I mean, everyone, not that he was the only person that was, but like, obviously this is on the topic, like my whole family and him as well, like, he was always so supportive of everything I wanted to do. Like, when I was trying to pursue when I was trying to start up my YouTube, he was supportive of that, and I'd set up, and he'd set up an email for me that he always had control over, and he'd always send me like the YouTube updating, forward me the YouTube updating terms of service and everything, and he'd warn me about copyright and stuff and everything else, and then when it came to talking about like relationships and stuff, again in the last few years, well, in the last few years before he passed, he seemed perfectly content with me if talking about relationships, and he was if depending on if you ever get a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever, it didn't assume I wouldn't be gay, so it was like no, if you are or not, it doesn't matter. Like, he was just so supportive, and I think for the hand he was, from my perspective, the hand he was dealt, he did a bloody great job. It was a great father, and I'm grateful for the time I did have with him. So, if I had to go at answering the title question, what makes a good father, the thing that keeps coming back to me is support, and just being there. Like, I can't say much for this things in terms of discipline, because a lot of the stuff that I was mainly sort of badly behaved when I was mainly at home, and that wasn't when Dad was there. That was with my stepdad, so I can't really say much for that sort of stuff. But I don't remember much if he did how he disciplined me. But I just mainly remember the support he always had for me, and the fact that he never gave up. So I'd say being there and just supporting you through no matter what. That's what makes a good father, I'd say. But without any further ado, I think we should now have a listen to what the participants have to say. Let's go.
2 different times we didn't speak. There was a time where I was convinced that if I had a wedding, he wouldn't show up. If I had a kid, he wouldn't care. To be able to have that conversation has really been a huge blessing, man.
For the last 7 years, I've been without a dad, not because he passed, but because of the unfortunate event that we had to just part ways with him.
My father and I did not meet for the first time until I was 8.
And what was that like when you met your father?
Terrifying, nervous, exciting, everything that I wanted and was scared to see at the same time.
We have an unusual relationship. My son was on the other side of the country most of our existence together, so parenting from afar.
I think one of the major misconceptions is that like black kids don't have great dads. I grew up with a great father.
I have a 7.5-year-old, and we adopted him at birth. I view my responsibility is to just give him as much experience and as much insight to the varieties of the world, so he has the tools necessary to enjoy life.
So is this specifically out in 2020?
My name is Charles. I live in Fullerton, and I'm a musician.
My name is Angel. I'm from the Inland Empire, and I'm a worship leader.
My name is Daniel, and from the Valley, and I make things pretty.
My name is Steven. I'm from Stockton. I'm a warehouse worker, and I have my own clothing brand.
My name is Tim. I live in Fullerton, and I'm in auto parts sales.
Can I get my fathers on the left and my sons on the right? If you agree with the prompt, you'll come forward. I am closer to my mother than my father.
I don't know. I think basing it off, for example, from when I was born, 2002, and 2021 when he died, probably equally close to both of them, I think. Yeah, I'm not really too sure if I'm honest, but if I had to guess.
I'm closer to my mom than my dad. My dad was classic farming, raised with all boys, and there was just not a lot of female energy in there.
Yeah.
And my dad did not know how to translate that to my sister and I.
For me, I'm definitely, obviously I walked up here, I am closer with my mom. When I was a child and when my dad was around, it was the complete opposite. For me at a young age, I was like 13, and I saw him kind of go downhill, loss of a job, gambling problem, and I was like, this really ain't it.
Yeah, I think for me, I can't really say that I'm closer more to one than the other just because I feel close to both of them in different ways. I'm just so thankful for my dad, because I grew up in a predominantly like Caucasian city with predominantly Caucasian friends, and my dad, he came from like a very like black background, and there were relatives that would be like, why does he talk like this? Or, why does he listen to that? Or, why does he walk like that or whatever? And my dad could have so easily sided with that perspective, but he was okay with me like in R&B and rock. And, and there was nothing wrong with that. And I love my dad for that because he never made me feel like something was wrong with me. He never made me feel like something was broken. And I really, really appreciate that.
So I hesitated just because this is my dad. And
So he felt on the spot choosing.
yeah, so my first thought is like, crap, this is going on the internet. Like, my mom's gonna watch this. Full disclosure, not trying to play favorites or anything like that, but I was closer to my mother by default growing up because I didn't know him until I was 8. So our relationship was quite literally seasonal. I would spend the school years on the East Coast in South Carolina with my mother, and then I would spend the summers and then some holidays with him here in Southern California. So after college, we weren't in communication for 5.5 years, and we reconnected in 2018. So we're newly back in communication within less than 2 years now.
I wish my father showed me more affection.
God. I think... Nah, my dad showed me. My dad gave, I think, both of me and Dan all the affection he could possibly give us. Like, I mean, like I said, when my dad and my mum split, he told me himself he could have, and it's expressed to me multiple times, not only by him but by my stepmom as well. He could have easily decided to pack up and go back to Germany. He could have, but he didn't. He stayed here for us, me and him. I do not wish that because I think he gave us as much as he could possibly give us, and it was enough.
We got some late bloomers.
Has my father said he loved me in your presence?
He's written it in a card.
He did write it in a card once. He's never said it. And he's currently 88 plus years old and, you know, a lot less time on his side.
For me, it sounds almost like really childish, but I take love as like, just take my side. I don't like really want him to, but I kind of want him to. Yeah. You know, like I don't want to.
I'm very consistent. I don't take my wife's side automatically. I really, let's get all the facts here.
I guess I wish he was a little bit more affectionate, not in like a, like, oh man, like I need a hug because I'm feeling sad, but it's more like when you're really going through that shit, like when you're 16, getting involved with all the wrong people because of the circumstances you have to step up to, and you're doing all this bad shit. Like, I need you to tell me that it's gonna be okay, or like it's, you know, what you're doing, it's, you know, it's bad, but I understand why you're doing it. Maybe this will change how, you know, I'm doing things at the moment. That's legit just all I needed when I was like 12 to like 17. That's it. But never got it.
I think it just depends on what your love language is. I think like physical contact, that just wasn't just like a thing. But I never doubted if my parents loved me. It's just like the only times we would hug is when there was like a major disagreement and it was so awkward. Like I was just like, like he showed affection in other ways.
You kind of can almost calculate it down through the different generation gaps. The generations below me, you're probably right on that cusp, but yeah, for men to show emotion, that was something they did not do. My dad was the farmer, my mom she had her clothing store, and she was just more out there. My dad liked to be on the tractor and away from everybody, so.
My dad did not have that mentality at all. He did not. Like, again, it's especially when he was passing, it was proven to me just how much he loved the two of us.
That kind of immediately set the tone. Then fast forward, and I came out, and everything just changed. You know, my dad, I'm going to hell, and my mom found the love, and you know, just it catapulted from there. So I love seeing these 20 and 30-year-olds with starting their families and whatnot, and I love seeing the different affections that they're able to put out there. It's that old nomer that men have to be this, men don't cry. I love to see that being pulled away.
Yeah, because we do.
Yeah, and need to.
I think it's impactful sometimes.
We all have tear ducts for a reason, boys.
You know, like
other than getting shit in your eyes.
You know, because it shows their humanity. Like, I've only seen my father cry twice in my whole life, but when it did happen, like it was very apparent. One, I learned, wow, he feels, and two, like, it was nice for me to see that like people aren't perfect all the time.
Does the impact of seeing your father break down and cry the couple of times you saw it, was it more impactful because you so rarely saw it?
I think it was because I didn't see it often that it was impactful. I think there's there's a comfort that I grew up with in knowing that my father was strong. And I'm not saying that emotional fathers aren't, but what I am saying is that my dad had a way of keeping his head in the game at times, because like say if I'm emotional and my mother's emotional and all my siblings are emotional, then like one of us has to be strong. At least that's what I believe. And that doesn't mean that he's not feeling it inside, but what I love about my dad is that he was always able to keep his emotions under control.
So is that masculinity to you?
It sounds like maturity.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say not even just masculinity, but maturity.
That's strength for you. That's the strength that you admire in your father.
I only saw. I too only saw my dad, from what I can remember, cry twice. Probably he might have done it more often, but I just didn't see it. But no, that was the only two times I ever saw him cry, like actually, cry, was when the first time was I think the first Christmas we had after his mum died. I can't remember if it was like a holding mat or a picture frame or something. It was something with a picture on it, and it had I think it was the whole family. I can't remember if it was just him and his mum and dad, or if it's just his mum and dad, or the whole family. But it definitely had his mum and dad in there. And the second he opened it, we were all looking at him. The second he opened it, he just broke down. And well, not just broke. He opened it, he processed it, and then it started to slowly come out. But that was the first time. The second time was when it was after during the treatments for the illness he had. He didn't. We were on a video call, just chatting, and talking about the hospital visit they had today with all the tests and stuff. And at this point, there wasn't a possibility. We didn't know how it was going to go. But there was a possibility he was going to pass, and the idea of him dying, sent only him, but also my stepmom going.
I don't want to be like my father.
I agree with that statement in the sense that I hope that for the time that he was around, the wisdom and life lessons he gave me sort of help me become a better person, and maybe if I ever do become a father myself, I sort of become a father, but be the father that he was to me. So, if I become a father, I am the father to my son that he was to me. That makes sense. So I'm gonna say no to that one. No.
That's hard. My father was really there and did all the cool things. What I don't want to be like him is he was overly emphasis on work and money and just less feeling oriented. And to his credit, it's just the way he was raised. I don't have any bitterness toward him for it at all.
Yeah, and I would go along with that too, just in case he does see this, because he's always been offended by my vocalness on social media and whatnot. He probably thinks I just hate him until the cows come home. Quite the opposite. I respect who he is more than he probably ever realizes. He is a honorable guy. He has extremely strong convictions, and for those things, a great work ethic. So there's a lot of great characteristics he does have. And as I get older and as I get in my emotion, I'm like, wow, that is so my dad.
I embody more things than I thought I would.
Yep.
What's crazy is that I really attached to everything that you said, because it's like in my early teenage years, like I absolutely hated my dad. Like he was just there every day, not working, just being there and just kind of taking up space. The more I look into it now as I got older, I have an understanding of why he felt this way. It's because, well, early on in his life, because my mom, when she had me, she was only like 21. And, you know, obviously with them both being young, it's like, how do we do this? You know, for him being the man of the house at the time, having that kind of flip to my mom taking more responsibility, I can see where that kind of deteriorates him on the inside, because it's like, you know,
Demasculinized
exactly,
him, yeah.
you know, like, you know, I can't provide for my family. I can't show my son how to be, you know, the ideal dad or the ideal man, or, you know, whatever the case is. And, you know, as I look back into it, I was like I fully get it. And it's like I don't hate him now, because I can't hate somebody who's literally me, in a sense. Like, his blood is running through my veins. Without him, there is no me. Yeah, even now I haven't even spoken to him in maybe almost 6 years, like at least like an actual conversation. But he'll pop in like when it's like the holidays. It's honestly it's a terrible feeling, but I know deep down he still cares for both me and my sister. It's just he's lost in his own kind of way, and he doesn't know how to come back from it, which is one thing I'm terrified of.
That's the thing with my dad. It's that he didn't try to shape me out to be a good father, or try to shape me into be like a good man like he was. He shaped me to help me be the best version of myself that I could be. He didn't try to imprint any of his I don't think he didn't try to make me be like him. I don't think he didn't try to make me like or anything like that. He just helped me. He helped me and nurtured me to become my own person, and that is what I like. Cause like, if that wasn't the case, like, cause if it wasn't the case, I don't think he would have been so what's the word I'm looking for? Supportive with me and my YouTube stuff. Like, when I wanted to do YouTube, that was still like a really odd, like. I mean, okay, when I started out, the goal was for it to be an actual, like, job thing. But then it sort of died that, and it's always, okay, no. Let me rephrase that. When I started out, I've always wanted to have YouTube as a job. I mean, I love doing this. I love sitting down here, having a deep conversation with you guys about this sort of stuff. But when I started out, it was more the fact that, oh, I can get money from this, that'd be kind of cool. And it was more focused on the money side. But now, now the channel's gone through a few different iterations of itself. I now know that that's obviously the money and the job is what I still want to aim for. But it's not my main concern. I just want to now make the best content that I want to make, that I know I can make. And obviously, like some back in the day, he never really, back in the day, things like YouTube and gaming was never really seen as a job. It was like a hobby, and he never put me down for it. He never stopped. He always supported it. So, yeah.
First, I just want to express how much I appreciate your perspectives and how much empathy you still have the capacity to give. Even in the midst of the pain, I still sense that you respect your fathers. 2 different times we didn't speak. There was a time where I was convinced that if I had a wedding, he wouldn't show up. If I had a kid, he wouldn't care. And I really had to grieve that relationship as if it was a death in the family. So to be able to have this conversation has just been, and when I say conversation, I mean it's really been ongoing between the two of us. To be able to have that conversation has really been a huge blessing, man. I don't know how else to say it.
It's just really, warming to have, complete communication and understanding, to be understood and to understand.
My dad accepts the way I live my life.
think I've probably already answered this before, but yeah. I mean, if there is such a thing as an afterlife, and that's where the old man is right now, I'm sure that, aside from a few small things I'm not quite getting right, I'm sure that the things I'm striving for, he's up there egging me on and just giving and still hoping the best for me. That's what I was trying to get to. But like I think I've said it. I kept saying, like, let me rephrase that in a more coherent way, shall I? If there is such a thing as an afterlife, and that's where he is now, looking down on me. Apart from a few small things I'm not quite getting right, I'm sure that he's definitely like hoping the best for me and wanting me to live my life the way I want to live it. And because that is definitely the way he was portraying, or the way he brought me up whilst he was still here. Why didn't I just put it like that? That was so much easier. It was funny that how I can actually, make coherent sentences once I think shit through, isn't it? But yeah, so I think I'm gonna go yes. Plain and simply, no matter where he is right now, yes.
I think so.
He's probably
It's like a
being
restart
no,
that
probably
I
not.
didn't think I was
But
gonna get, being able to
oh no.
just have this conversation at all. So to not only be back in a relationship, but to have, him. It's weird speaking about him in third person. But to have you genuinely just, kind of put your money where your mouth is and say, like, yeah, like, I support you and really admire your passion and your drive to do that thing. Now I want to help you apply that to these areas that you've kind of let fall to the wayside.
Yeah, see what you guys got, like, now after that whole, like, rebuild of everything, I'm I'm just, like, super jealous. I know my dad, even though he wasn't very vocal on a lot of things, I know he was never disappointed with a lot of the choices I made. He'll be proud that I've stepped up, taking care of both my mom and my sister to the best of my ability, holding it down at the house.
Dude, hats off to you, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Seriously.
He never makes me feel bad, but what I am saying is, like, the idea of, like, wanting to do, like, music was something that I could tell, like, took a little bit of time, because I come from a background or a household that's, like, very, like, 9 to 5. Like, it was through my dad and his, like, working endeavors that provided for my brother and I, and I appreciate that, and I'm very humbled that, he would live that life for me.
But he wants you to live that life too.
Well, it's not that I think that he even wants me to live that life. It's just, we're kind of just in this waiting period. Like, I just know I can't be where I am right now forever.
There's a few family and friend members that constantly are kind of, come on, you should talk to your daddy. Dude, I've never closed the door on him. I mean, I came out in the early 90s, which was weird and rare then, and at my age in Colorado. I knew my father wasn't really going to be a gung-ho cheerleader for the gay squad, but it just was surprising when my parents divorced at how religious he really was. He's told me I'm going to hell numerous times. I said, then we're both going to hell, but I'll be in that room next door having a hell of a lot more fun. He doesn't like my smartass quality.
Is the tension or the lack of communication solely based on what you just expressed? Or is there anything else that your father admires about your life?
Wow, did you talk to my dad?
No.
I'm messing with. But it is an interesting, and it's a really insightful question.
You seem like a very successful person. You seem like a very caring person. You said you're raising a son. So I just wondered, like, if any of that kind of like sends up a road flare, like, hey, like, I'm not all bad, or, like, I'm doing all right.
I think he would tell you, I know my son's not all bad. I think in a way we both kind of are standing there wanting to have something more and say something, do something more, but neither one of us can find that language and that ability. We have I am my father. I have extremely strong convictions. And, yeah.
For me, it was just nice to see that somebody has a similar situation coming up as I did, because it makes me feel like I know it's out there, but it's nice to know that I've met somebody that has had a similar experience with, you know, our father not really being there the whole time. But it's also good to see you guys having that good relationship with your father, and then even you having your father here, like it's crazy. And then even with the rebuild that you guys had, that's, you know, that's great to hear to me as well. And it's like, I personally don't hear a lot of positive things when it comes to the things that combat me on the inside, and it's refreshing. It really is.
That's it. Thank you so much.
Awesome stuff. I think, on the whole, like, I don't think there's no one. I don't think there's like one specific way on how to be a father. I think like this video just there shows that there are so many different types of ways that a man can be a good father. Whether it's through presenting really like strong and tough, and providing for your family, but still being able to show them that you love them in your own way, or like someone like this dude's father, where even though he'd sort of fallen off the rock a little, fall off rock for lack of a better wording, he still knew that he did what he could to provide for them, and he cared for them, and my dad, like I kept saying, he, in the shortest way possible, he just supported me through everything he could do, and accepted me for whatever it is I was. I knew he would have accepted me through whatever it is I would eventually become. And so I think that there's no like one way about making what makes a good father. I think you can be a good father by doing things in different ways from other people. But yeah, I enjoyed that one. I went in this one a bit worried because I didn't know how well I was going to be able to give my thoughts on this, because I thought it would be very like father experience sort of based, and I was like, I don't think I'll be very good at that, but actually no, it was a bit mixed. Yeah, I enjoyed that. As per usual, let me know what you thought about this video in the comments, and as per usual, metagram rules apply. Do not belittle or berate anyone for what their thoughts are. It is a safe space, and if you do, action will be taken. Comments will be removed and blocked. People will be blocked, and vice versa. I don't know why I said vice versa, that was the wrong word. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think. And on that note, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, please leave a comment, and consider subscribing to the channel subject Beckett. If you'd like, in the description, not only will there be a link to this original video in the description, so you can watch it all the way through without my pausing all the way through, but you can also find my link tree, which has not only has many other socials on there, where I do so many other things across the internet. It also has a Twitch and a Discord, which you can go follow the Twitch and subscribe and join on the Discord. We can all have some lots of fun together, can't we? Thank you all so much for watching, and I shall see you all in the next one. Adios.